think it's crucial to maximize your potential. Who we are is not set in stone. We could grow in so many different directions. Imagine that you're holding a blank piece of paper. Now, imagine that in the center of this paper is a singular dot. You could say that this single dot represents you as you are today. We could say that the paper represents your potential as a human being. It represents all that you could be, all the ways that you could develop yourself if you had infinite time to do so. Now imagine that you dedicated 4 hours a day for the next 10 years of your life to a random skill. Let's say figure skating. If you were to actually do this, it's pretty clear that not only would you improve, you'd actually improve enough to be in the top 10% on the planet in most cases. Consider that the vast majority of people don't even do what it is that you are doing, or have even tried it before. This can be applied to anything imaginable: math, science, history, checkers, etc. It's my belief that so long as you're alive, you should try to shade in as much of that blank page as possible. You should try to grow the shaded area as much as you possibly can with the time you've been given. I see the failure to attempt to grow as an individual as inexcusable. Your version of trying your best is relative to your situation and capability, but your best attempt remains an option to everyone. The outcome is not relevant here, only the process of improvement over time. Weakness leads to evil and suffering. The further you can get from your weakness, the better. I think that to fail to establish your individuality is a terrible tragedy. Every single person, at their core, has the potential to be a truly one-of-one individual. There's no one like you. There never has been someone exactly as you are, and there never will be again. It's just you. You have a set of potential that is completely unique to you and can only be realized by you. If you fail to bring it forward, then it will be lost to the void forever. It will never be realized by humanity in the specific way you could have brought it forth. I think it's your responsibility to break free of conformity and leave your unique fingerprint on the fabric of reality. Otherwise, you're just a carbon copy of a copy, making the same monkey sounds all the other monkeys are making. Otherwise, there is no point to you being here. You are an insignificant speck of dust that is completely replaceable and unnoticeable. A leaf floating in the wind, forgotten by time. It's my opinion that every single action you take matters in an exponential way. That at first glance it seems that most of the important things that go on in the world are out of our hands as regular people. But if you look closer, that's far from the truth. What you actually are is a critical node in the network of humanity, a piece of the puzzle. Every other piece or node that is connected to you is directly affected by you. All the pieces or nodes that are connected to those secondary ones are indirectly affected by you. Imagine that you're a cashier working retail in a local clothing store. Now, imagine that for today, you dedicate yourself to being as helpful, positive, and uplifting as possible. If you've ever gone shopping, you know that most cashiers do the opposite of this, and are actually pretty rude. That was probably me most of the time. The positive cashier actually has a real effect on the mood of the customer. They have a deep enough effect to actually change the tone of their entire day. Putting them in a good mood doesn't stop at them though. It also has a ripple effect on everyone else that they communicate with for the rest of the day. Maybe they arrive home to their family of 4 in an extra good mood and go on to pass their positivity to their family. Maybe that causes a chain reaction of positivity emanating from their now happy family members. It's pretty clear to see how the cashier doing the opposite could have the opposite effect on this family of 4. How it could start a negative chain reaction in the community. Understanding this ripple effect and life as a node in the network makes it obvious that every single insignificant seeming action you take matters and can lead to a tsunami of consequence somewhere else. No matter how small, it compounds exponentially and affects humanity. I believe it's worthwhile to try my best to be a net positive. This begins with the belief in good and evil. I believe that some things are better than others. The most fundamental statement here is that I believe that reality itself is a good thing. That something is better than nothing. That the potential for good outweighs the potential for bad. That even the opportunity for good is justification for the suffering of the world. Without objective good and evil, there can be no reason to justify action outside of what personally makes you feel good. This leads to selfish, low empathy action, and when depressed, it leads to inaction. Once the existence of good and evil is clear, the attempt to do positive things becomes self-explanatory. There's just no justification for intentionally doing bad things. And the reason why I say net positive instead of just positive is because I recognize that it's actually impossible to do nothing but good over the course of my life. All a man can do is try his best to tip the scales in favor of positivity and leave the world better than he found it. That when you balance out the total effect of his actions over the course of his life, they were overall beneficial. He did more good than bad. The awareness and understanding of the negative things I've done over the course of my life act as inspiration for me to intentionally do as much good as I can in order to tip the scales. Finally, I'm fundamentally pro-human. I believe in and love humanity. I do this because I'm human, and as a general rule, love of oneself is a superior mindset than self-hatred. I can't rid myself of my humanness. Optimism is fundamentally more admirable than pessimism. And as an optimist, I choose to look at the great potential for good that humanity possesses, rather than its history of evil. It's true that the most evil acts ever committed are by humans, but I choose to keep my eyes fixed on the fact that the greatest acts of kindness, selflessness, and empathy have also been accomplished by humans. That we have the greatest potential for good out of every other collection of atoms so far discovered in the universe. I choose to believe in this potential for goodness, rather than become cynical when confronted with evil. I also recognize that humans are, as far as we know, the only intelligence that can shepherd life into a lengthy and meaningful existence. That without us, the plants and animals are vulnerable to entropy and the turbulent universe. This inspires me to represent humanity well and push us towards a species that we can be proud of. I organize these concepts for myself in an attempt to make life meaningful and to give my days purpose. The actual effect ended up being greater than I had anticipated. As far as I can tell, it managed to nullify my depression and attention deficit disorder. My depression as a kid stemmed from fundamental nihilism. The belief that life was meaningless and there was nothing more than base survival for absolutely no reason. My ADD, I suspect, was also caused in part by this belief. My fundamental nihilism led to my mind depreciating the value of the things around me, the relationships, the subjects, and the information. It all seemed so empty and pointless that my brain was struggling to motivate me to engage with the world. The process of creating them was to attempt to ask myself the big questions. Questions like, why am I here? What is the purpose or meaning of life? What matters to me most? Do my actions actually matter in the end? When I asked these questions, the first answers that came to my mind were fragile and confusing. They're usually contradictory and full of logical holes that I could easily exploit, therefore rendering the concept useless to me. I can't lie to myself if I can clearly see things as illogical. It loses its emotional power and fails to provide me with meaning. So, I had to create a set of concepts that were robust enough that I couldn't find my way out of them. Concepts that act like a philosophical maze that trap my skeptical mind and leave me with the conclusion that they're true. These concepts have already helped me greatly, particularly when life gets really difficult. A dark state of mind is so difficult because it really warps your perception of life itself. Everything passes through this filter that drains all the joy from the moment. In times like that, you're essentially incapable of making rational decisions. You don't really feel positive emotion from positive things. You're not motivated to do things for yourself or to achieve things. It's all the same to you, so you just end up saving energy doing as little as possible. These concepts, these philosophical mazes make it so that even your depressive mind state cannot argue its way out. What that means is, even though the concepts won't make you feel better, they are still true. And so, the right choice, the correct next step is still obvious. The best course of action is still clear. And if you don't take it, you suffer to the same degree, so you might as well continue on your path. This path, of course, is actually what will eventually pull you out of your negative mind state. The meaning structures essentially become a railing that you can use to keep yourself upright when life feels too heavy. I'd encourage you to either adopt a preferred meaning inducing belief system or to create your own from scratch. Assume it's possible for you to imagine a bulletproof system of ideas that help you throughout your life. The critical thing is that it's robust and refined enough, such that when life becomes difficult, it remains true to you logically speaking. If you can find holes in your reasoning, you'll exploit them and return to nihilism. I cannot see a justification for choosing to live without a meaningful belief system or meaning structure. It seems to simply take away from the experience of living, to make things more bland, to make life meaningless. If you're the kind of person that feels fine with life as it is and is happy to simply survive, the thought that life is meaningless and we're simply waiting to die is enough for you. And fair enough. You're not desperate like I was to make sense of things. As far as I'm concerned, this is very far from a justification for living a bland life. You may not be desperate for food because of starvation, but that doesn't mean that you need to eat nothing but oatmeal for the rest of your life, because it gets the job done. We're on earth to feel things, and to feel them deeply. So, find yourself a belief system, whether it's a religion, a philosophy, or a belief structure that you created for yourself. Find whatever is most compelling to you specifically, and allow it to make your life a more meaningful experience. To find the set of actions, the set of concepts that fill your body and soul with all the warm feelings of a life well lived. Why live to survive when you can live to feel alive? There's meaning to this life. There's justification for my strife. There is a magic underpinning reality, and I choose to be part of it, to be immersed in it. So I'll lean in, I'll push farther, I'll fight harder. So long as I live, I'll be engulfed in this gift to be.